Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf, the podcast in which one man strives to level up his geekhood and helping you do the same, one battle at a time. Now, let's get geeky with Gamer Leaf.
So, welcome to Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf, the special subscribers insider email. Today, we're going to be speaking with the creators and masterminds behind Rotunda, Last Man Standing family party game that's currently on Kickstarter for, I believe, about a little bit less than 3 more weeks. And like I said, we're joined by Amos and Nona. Thank you so much for joining us on Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf. We really appreciate it, you guys.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem at all. Now, if people want to go back and listen to a little bit more about the game and everything, they can go back and listen to our latest episode. Our episode of Getting Geeky with Gamer Life, which has either already been released or is about to be released. They can always subscribe at Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf, where podcasts are caught, or at GamerLeafGo.com, kind of like Pokemon Go, but Gamer Leaf Go. But in the meantime, they can go ahead and we said we'd talk a little bit about the design process. So can you walk us through that? How did you guys go about first coming up with the inspiration and getting where you are on Kickstarter? How did that go down?
Basically, it just starts with a concept, just like anything else in life. You start with a concept, you get an idea, and you slowly build up to where you have a workable prototype. And the first place we started at was a dice, and we had a Taboo dice. So I don't know when Taboo started adding a dice to the game, but it has one now. We never used it, and so we never used it for Taboo. So we said, hey, let's see if we can figure out something else to use it for. And we took little sticky notes and put it on each side of the dice and wrote something on there. And that's where the first beginnings of Rotunda started to be formed, where you roll that dice and whatever side you roll, you follow the action rolled, which is the very first part of Rotunda now.
Awesome. Yeah, I never remember a dice. I remember playing it as a kid, and I remember a buzzer that kind of looked like a electric shaver. But other than that, I don't remember a dice.
Yeah, and now they have a dice and they have a timer.
Yeah, the little timer thing.
Yeah, like I said, we still play the classic version, even though they have all that, and we just use the other components to get inspired.
So you were just playing Taboo one day and said, let's change it up a little bit?
Exactly. Let's change it up a little bit. We started going with the dice. And then from the dice, we were like, okay, so when you lose a turn, how are we going to know, who's winning, who's losing? So we actually went to a store and picked up some colorful paper clips. Mm-hmm. And we gave each person 5 paper clips. And, when you lost the game, you would throw one of your paper clips out. And when you're all out of paper clips, you're out of the game. And slowly that evolved from paper clips to plastic poker chips to real poker chips. And that's where that element came from.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you run out of paper clips? Like people just really threw them away, and so you had to go over to the chips?
They were playing with them, put them in their hair and stuff.
We found them in bags somewhere.
Yeah, a bag of paper clips somewhere. We were like, yeah, what are y'all doing with our game pieces?
Oh boy, well somebody somewhere has paper clips everywhere now.
There's a whole lot of free paper clips. Yeah, they owe us for that.
Oh, there you go. Awesome. So, and then you said you picked up, so how did the chips take effect? You said you got some cheap ones, and how did they morph into what they are now?
So we got some cheap ones, and like I said, they were basically just like life tokens. But we started running into roadblocks of different games, and we thought about it, and we were like, man, if we could have real poker chips, it gives us so many more opportunities to create more games. And now, right now, I think a third of our games are based off having the real thick 39 millimeter to 1.5 millimeter poker chips, because you can stand them on their sides, you can put them on your forehead, you can spin them, you can do so many things with them, and it just made the game so much more versatile.
What about, I don't know if this is one of your games, but I remember as a kid, you stick a quarter or like a 50-cent piece on your shoulder and then swing your arm down and try to catch it.
So yeah, we have that's actually hilarious. We've done that too. We have a game close like that. It's where you stick one of the poker chips on your forehead and you try to get it to the table without it falling off. And that game is pretty hilarious. At one of our cons, we had a girl try to do it, and she actually tried to cheat. She got on both knees to make herself get closer to the table, but then her nose got caught on the edge of the table and the chip flew off. It was pretty hilarious. Yeah.
Was her nose okay?
Oh, her nose is okay. She was just more embarrassed. She was like, "Ow, my nose." I was like, "Yeah, well, that's what you get for cheating." So,
Oh boy, awesome! Now with the, I know you said you started off with the dice and putting sticky notes on them. How did you decide? Like, how many renditions of the dice did you have to go through? Did you go through a whole pack of sticky notes, deciding what to put on it, or?
yeah, I think we went through about 3 renditions of the dice before we figured out what we wanted to put on there, and then also with sizes. Since we have nose goes, you have to roll it. Everybody has to be able to see when nose goes is rolled to know when to touch their nose. So we played with the sizes a little bit, and we settled on 25 millimeter. It's not too big for your hand, but it's big enough for everybody who's playing, even at a big table, to see what you roll.
Okay, that's awesome. So what were some of the first renditions? I know now you have like where everybody gives a chip or 2 chips, or has to get rid of chips, or you have the cards to draw. But what were some of the first actions on the dice?
So the very first game, and it's so hilarious because everybody was drinking. I was like, oh man, we got to stop everybody from drinking. It's going to be a bad night. So I was like, hey, let's think of a game. So of course we did. We got the dice, we thought of a game, but then we made a drinking game. That was probably the dumbest thing we've ever done to make people stop drinking. So one side meant you sip, one side meant you gulp, the other side meant you finish the cup, the other side was a shot, the other side was 3 shots? Yeah, it was a terrible night. I'm talking about projectile throw up, broken glasses, people passed out. We were like, okay, that was the dumbest idea ever. Let's go ahead and dial that back a little bit.
Oh, that's awesome. And then what about the cards? How did you come up with the different mini games, and how are the cards tied into it?
So the cards came into place where we started thinking of more games than we had room on the dice. So, it was only a 6-sided dice, and we were like, I guess we can have a dice with more size, but let's add another element to the game. So we started coming up with more games. We're like, how are we going to put these games into the overall game? So we went to the store, picked up a little cheap pack of shark cards. I remember they had shark. Every single card had a shark back on it. And we literally just took a Sharpie and wrote over what the card was going to be, whether it was category, rhyme time, flip chip. And then, so that's where that card came into. So you picked the card, you did whatever the card said. And then we figured out cards are so easy to manipulate. So you can have so many more mini games. So we started playing with the amounts of certain mini games and how many mini games we're going to have in a pack, and that's where that came in at.
How did you decide where to stop? Because I imagine you could have a plethora of mini games.
Yeah, so we actually stopped at 16. We figured 16 was pretty good if you want to play one, but we kept coming up with mini games. So then we made an expansion pack with another 16 mini games. So there's actually 32 mini games you can play with Rotunda if you get the expansion pack, where you can play all 32 at once. You can mix and match them, or you can just play the expansion pack by itself.
Oh, wow. So 32. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I know in the previous podcast, we talked about some of your favorites. What are some other favorites you have? Because I imagine you made games you liked.
So I would say one of my other favorites would be Rotunda, which is in our original deck. So you have 6 chances to roll all 6 sides of the die. And then if you do, you win the whole game, and you pretty much knock everyone out. It's pretty risky. It's like high risk, high reward. So that's why I like it so much.
Wow, that's pretty cool. What about yourself, Amos?
Yeah, and probably one of my favorites is called Horseshoe. And everybody has to toss one of their chips towards the deck without hitting it. So if you hit the deck, you're automatically out. But the person who gets closest to the deck without hitting it wins, and everybody else has to toss in their chip.
Awesome. And now before in the previous podcast, we played one with, we played an animal game. I know you talked about the alphabet one. Is there another game we could probably play for this one? Another game we can show them? I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. So we can pick between category, and you can pick a category. We can go from there, or we can do rhyme time. Super simple. You say a word, we all have to rhyme off. The first person who can't figure out a rhyme loses.
Let's try rhyme time. What do you say?
All right, that sounds good. You can start off.
Captain.
Wow. Why was I not prepared for this?
We both looked at each
so
other.
bad.
Yeah.
I lost.
Yeah.
I can't even.
Does that mean I won?
Yeah, you definitely won. Yeah, that threw us off a little bit. You could say happening, or
no one's ever said that word before,
yeah, I know.
so it kind of threw me off.
We both looked at each other like, wow, he came out with heavy punches. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Okay, let's try again. One of you guys want to start us off?
Yeah, you can start us off.
Okay, so I'm going to say bag.
Hag.
Hag.
Oh, okay, he was going, stag.
Oh, well, sorry. Okay, we take turns. Okay, go ahead. Sorry. So we take turns.
Yeah. So we'll do it like this. Nona will go, then I will go, then you can go.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, I'm gonna change my word up then. Shirt,
Hurt.
Kurt.
dirt,
Blurt.
Skirt.
spurt.
I don't know. Oh, I didn't think you was gonna get this. Oh, that was messed up. So yeah, I would have lost that one. That skirt was you pulled. That was kind of clutch. I was surprised at that one.
You run out of words quick.
Yeah, it's like your mind will go blank so easy on you, and then afterwards you'd be like, "Oh man, I think of 7 different words I could have said."
Oh, wow. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. So, you can run out of words really quick, it seems like. You wouldn't think so, but. So, how did you know when the game was good to go, and then why did you decide Kickstarter?
So we pretty much knew when the game was good to go when we started taking it to like game nights. And people were like, "Oh man, this game is great. Can I get it on Amazon?" We were like, "No, this is actually our prototype. We made it." And people were like, "You are lying. This is not your game." We were like, "No, this is our game." And they're like, "No, this is like a professional game. This can't be your game." It's like, wow, that's kind of hurtful. Like I can't make a professional game, but that's when we pretty much knew it was production quality was where we wanted to. It was fun and it was engaging. So at that point, we said, "Hey, let's give it a shot. Let's go try to get this funded." And that's what we put on Kickstarter.
Awesome. And this is your first game on Kickstarter and whatnot. What have been some of the hurdles, and what have you learned thus far from your run on Kickstarter?
So definitely branding. So originally when we were trying to come up with like our branding, like our designs of our cards, it was a nightmare. But you kind of go through it. We learned a lot from working with people, specific people, that kind of just, I don't know how would I say this?
Like tough love lessons, I guess. We work with people like that, and also marketing. So you can have the best game in the world and nobody will buy it if they don't know about it, or you can have the worst game in the world, but if you market it correctly, people will still buy it. And so we learned that marketing, even though we're board game designers, we're also marketers at the same time. So it was a shocking lesson we had to learn about getting our game out there.
Yeah, for sure. And I didn't notice it on there, but are there any prototypes out in the world that we might see from what other people think of it, different reviewers?
So there are prototypes out there. We actually we sold we did some pre-orders. Like people would not stop bugging us about it, so we actually made some prototypes just to send out to people who just like, we go into our cons, like people would email us like almost every other day, like, yeah, "Hey, is there a prototype available yet?" So we just made them one to get it out there. And currently we don't have anybody doing a review on it, but we're definitely heading in that direction.
We've had people that played the game that made some reviews, but no like video reviews or anything like that.
Awesome. Yeah, that's definitely seems like, because then you can take the other people's audiences and then they can showcase your game that way as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So awesome. Yeah, just, and like, we'll make sure we leave the links in the show notes. And just a reminder to anybody listening that you can go back and listen on your favorite podcast catchers to Getting Geeky with Gamer Life to find the actual full interview where we talk about Rotunda, Last Man Standing family party game. Now, we don't want to keep you all night. Any final parting words on your game and why they should go check it out if they haven't yet?
Well, just if you want a fun, family-friendly party game that's versatile, that you can play over and over and it feels like a different game each time, then I would say go ahead and pick up a copy of Rotunda. Like it's the Mario it's the Mario Party of tabletop games. So it's just something fun. It brings you together. It's great for the holidays when family and friends are coming. You can beat your grandmother in a staring contest or something like that. It's just fun for the whole family.
Well, there you go. Awesome. Is there a staring contest involved as well?
Yeah, one of the cards are called Straight Face, and if you pick Straight Face, you pick any of the players at the table, and you have a staring contest. First person to blink loses, and then they have to discard a chip. That's one of the games also.
How awesome is that? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't want to keep you all night, but I really appreciate you guys coming on Getting Geeky with Gamer Life to talk all about Rotunda, Last Man Standing family party game that will be on Kickstarter through Thursday, the 6th of December. We really appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Gamer Leaf levels up. Game over.
Well, if you're listening to this right now, you obviously made it through my subscriber-only email special hidden episode. What should we call these? And do you think I leveled up, or do you think it should be game over for Gamer Leaf? Let me know what you thought of this subscriber-only emailed episode that you just got by replying to the said email and letting me know what you thought. Should we keep doing these? Was this exclusive interview something that you liked? What can we do better on Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf? Go ahead and hit reply. Let us know. We'd love to take your feedback. We might even share it on the show. Anyways, it's our least favorite time, your least favorite time. Time for us to get on with our lives, you to get on with yours. In the meantime, I hope you'll go back and listen to that interview that we just released on our podcast over at GamerLeafGo.com or your favorite podcast catcher, Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf, where you can find the full episode of myself, Frank, and Nona sitting down to talk all about their great game. We actually played a couple more of the mini games on that episode, so go check it out. And if you like what you heard, go ahead and check out the game on Kickstarter and then back at Show Your Support. Let's get them to that $10,000 goal. Anyways, time for us to get on with our lives, you to get on with yours. I hope in the meantime you'll reply to this email and let me know. But anyways, Gamer Leaf out.
Gamer Leaf levels up. Tune in next week to see if Gamer Leaf's luck holds up.